that, like, do you think that this was always secret? People talk about, oh, Da Vinci, look at that. That's totally a craft, right? That they were hush hush back then. I can imagine the natives and indigenous cultures just fully incorporating it. Yeah, this is, yeah, of course we talk to them and whatever. But do you think when the Renaissance before that they were like hush hush, so this is secret? Or do you think they actually talked about it and then we were hush 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 later? Like what?
Oh, I think they absolutely talked about. I know, with a number of friends that have been in some of these traditions, like the Knights Templar, or that have been in traditions that have followed Da Vinci's work. You actually look back at history, and just like there are now, like LightNet, there were groups like LightNet back in Da Vinci's time. There have been groups like LightNet in the indigenous cultures of all times. There've been LightNet is really This is my whole point with what lies beyond disclosure is actually openness and transparency and lots of wisdom, is because LightNet is actually representing what has been done throughout the ages, but now with a lot more transparency and with the backing of scientific research and lots of documentation, is that right back in Da Vinci's time, or if we go back to some of the ancient Mayan time, for example, or we go right back to some of the ancient Vedic traditions, when these connections were made with other beings, with other realms, with the whole, power and practice of connecting to pure realms in the Buddhist tradition, for example, is thousands of years old, or over 1,000 years old. And the tradition of connecting with other beings from other realms in Japan, for example, is quoted at Mount Kurama, where Mikao Usui received the first Reiki initiations or symbols. They actually have a quote on Mount Kurama, because I've been there and I've seen this wonderful quote, where they speak about beings visiting from Venus millions of years ago, and they were the first documented beings to arrive back in Japan, and were documented in many of those ancient traditions, the Ainu, the civilizations that were many, many thousands of years old here, have documented orally what was passed down through the ages about these visitors from other planets. So you realize this is being discussed and being part of, and is taken as being an integral part of most of these traditional indigenous communities for thousands of years. So yes, I do think it was spoken about. And yes, LightNet is doing exactly that. That's why it's such a great work.